Want me to get more? Right in there?
There you
No,
go.
no, yes.
How much is it?
42.
It doesn't cost anything to come.
Right.
They just don't want you to go home.
That's right.
Hello, everybody. My name is Murray Graham. I'm the president of the board of Daly House Museum. I'd like to welcome you this afternoon to both our Membership Appreciation Day and a fairly significant event. We've had a very, I don't know, I guess you'd call it an important acquisition recently. We're happy to unveil that today as sort of the centerpiece of our Membership Appreciation Day. I'm going to have our Vice President, Barb Andrew, tell you a little bit about what we're unveiling today.
Well, first of all, I'm going to read you a little bit about Judge Edith Irene McDonald. Judge McDonald was the only child born to Angus A. and Irene Douglas McDonald, who lived in Winnipeg. Her father was the fifth son born to Alexander James and Margaret Jane McDonald, an early pioneer family who homesteaded 18 miles northwest of Brandon. Edith was always a very academic student, winning the Governor General's Medal as the top student at Viscount Alexander High School in Winnipeg. She took law at the University of Manitoba, winning the gold medal for being top in the law class of 1957. She was always proud of the fact that she had topped Izzy Asper, who was also in the class. That's a big accomplishment right there. On her admission to the bar, Edith joined the Department of Justice in Ottawa and went into a remarkable career of over 20 years. She was responsible for drafting some of the important legislation of the period: the Divorce Act, the Canadian Grains Act, and the portions of the Canadian Constitution with regards to women's rights. Edith was also a devoted volunteer at the Ottawa Little Theatre. She did not aspire to be an actress, but relished in the process of putting on a show, spending countless hours in the backstage and front of the house tasks. In 1982, she was appointed a judge for the Court of Queen's Bench in the Judicial District of Niagara South Welland in the province of Ontario. For the next 20 years, she devoted herself with dignity to the duties of this appointment until the debilitating disease, dementia, brought her distinguished career to an end. She died July 20th, 2009 in Welland, Ontario, and is buried alongside her parents in the cemetery at Fonthill, Ontario, where she had lived. In her will, she had considered it only fitting that due to the many years the McDonald family had been connected to the Brandon area, as well as the city of Brandon, the 18th century French scene picture, which we are going to, done in Petit, needlepoint, by her Aunt Edith, and we're going to have that unveiled shortly. Her Aunt Edith McDonald Fox be donated to a museum in Brandon, and we are just thrilled. Edith McDonald Fox, who was born and raised in Brandon and on the homestead northwest of Brandon, spent her late teens and the rest of her life in Winnipeg. She had passed the Petit Point picture on to Judge Edith when she passed away in 1980. So I'd like to ask several members of the McDonald family to come forward and remove the cloth here for us. Who'd like to come?
Uncle
You
Louie.
and Bob, you get up there. Yeah, definitely. You too, guys.
You say Mavis?
Come on
Guys,
in.
okay?
There, if you can, one on each side maybe, and
Bob, you're taller than me.
John Jens.
okay, you ready? There you go. Oh, beautiful. Lovely. This 18th century French scene was undertaken and completed by Edith McDonald Fox. She was born April 1899 and passed May 1980. She was the youngest daughter of early pioneer parents Alexander James, who was born 1846 and passed 1948, and Margaret Jane McDonald, who homesteaded 18 miles northwest of Brandon. Edith's education started at the District 1 room schoolhouse known as Main School, continued in Brandon, and was completed at a university in Winnipeg. Edith married Joseph Fox in 1920, and they continued to live in the Norwood area of Winnipeg. They had one son, Walter. born in 1924. Walter became a psychiatrist, practicing his work in Arizona, USA. He is now retired. Edith was a stay-at-home mom, and it was during those years that she worked at doing the needlepoint. Her husband Joseph died accidentally in February 1980, and Edith died of cancer in May of 1980. At this time, the Petit Point picture was passed on to Edith's niece, Edith I. McDonald, who was a granddaughter of Alex and Margaret McDonald, and who at that time was living in Ottawa, Ontario. So I can't tell you how thrilled we are to be the recipients and be able to house this for the family. It's just an absolutely lovely piece. We thank you very much.
Yes, I'd just like to say, it's a Petit Point picture. It's something somebody did for amusement. It's not, you know, the sword of Sir Isaac Brock. It's not the Magna Carta that's going to be exhibited in Winnipeg. And people might wonder why something like this is important, but if you look around you in this room, if you walk around in this house, every item in here was part of somebody's family history, and that is the real and actual history of the people and the area. And that's why it's important. It's a thread that makes up the tapestry of the Brandon and area history. And thank you again for the donation. We are, as Barb said, we are thrilled, humbled, and honored to be the custodians of such a piece. Thank you very much.
And if the McDonald family would like to gather somewhere in front here, I'm sure we can get some photos.
That would be nice.
That would be very nice.